Hello, Sole Design community. Let's dissect this beautiful, simple, really well done retro sole. Let's start dissecting the profile. As you can see, we have two different colors, which is actually the same material, which is an die-cut EVA. So normally we can have also two different densities. For example, this one can be a little bit softer and this can be a little bit harder, so that you have the whole sole which is really containing and consistent, but then you have some cushioning here. In this case, when I push it, I feel that they are the same density. It's really hard, but still there is a little bit of flexibility. In these soles, we are not expecting too much flexibility because the hardness of the EVA makes the buffing really like velvety and perfect. If we go softer, we will have a really bad surface. So we have to go with really hard EVA in this kind of products. But after a while, this part starts to wrinkle and starts to collapse a little bit. So the EVA becomes a little bit softer and more flexible and more comfortable as you go with your use. So as you can see, we have quite high lugs. They are like 3.5 millimeters of depth. And it is really very, very thin in the base rubber. You can see that the base rubber is really thin. We can see that this is rubber. When we turn it to the bottom, you will see that it is made of rubber without any pigments. Now, let's see a little bit the back of it. As you can see, there is a very sharp movement here, and then we have a really reduction of the thickness here because this is really done for the bottom gauge of this shoe. So I don't think they made a mold covering 2-3 sizes, but every size has its own mold. Because you can see all the perimeter lugs are perfectly touching the perimeter without any differentiation of size, and everything is perfectly placed. There is nothing out of its place. We have just one lug. It's a triangle. It's very simple. Now you can ask me, is this 2-color molding? No, it's just 1 color. But as you can see here, we have a much lighter rubber, and then here we have more consistent, more dark color. So this is because our rubber is semi-transparent, because it's without pigment. It's the natural color of the sole. So when it touches the white of this EVA, you can see it is really like light and it becomes a little bit semi-transparent. But here we have much more material, so it becomes really like dense color, and then we see it like a different color. So this is a really nice trick that we can use when we design retro soles. We can play with the thicknesses. The thinner it gets, the more it takes the color of the midsole. If the midsole is black, then it's gonna be darker here and maybe lighter here. So this is a really nice, I think, color trick that we can really use. And as you can see, there are not many elements. It's just one triangle, but put in different ways. We have more consistency here. We have a lot of rubber touching the ground. We have like a weird emptiness here. If I were the sole designer, I would have added another triangle here just to give more stability on the heel. We shouldn't approve everything. We can also do our commands and little critique as we go, right? With it. And also here I see a lot of nothing touching the ground. We don't need it, but I would have added maybe another one here. And then we have a really very thin toe protection, which is a typical of the retro soles actually. And I really love it because it is simple, because it's the same thing repeating. We have a whole chapter in Sole Design Academy about how to create vintage soles, how to make them as retro as possible.